The reading of the law. So Moses wrote down this law and gave it to the priests, the sons of Levi, who carried the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and to all the elders of Israel. Then Moses commanded them, at the end of every 7 years, in the year for canceling debts, during the Feast of Tabernacles, when all Israel comes to appear before the Lord your God at at the place he will choose, you shall read this law before them in their hearing. Assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the aliens living in your towns, so they can listen and learn to fear the Lord your God and follow carefully all the words of this law. Their children who do not know this law must hear it and learn to fear the Lord your God as long as you live in the land you are crossing the Jordan to possess. So again, reading it over and over again, it helps you to memorize or to understand it, to meditate on it. Meditate on the word. Let's continue to read. Israel's rebellion predicted. Okay. The Lord said to Moses, "Now the day of your death is near. Call Joshua and present yourselves at the tent of meeting, where I will commission him." So Moses and Joshua came and presented themselves at the tent of meeting. Then the Lord appeared at the tent in a pillar of cloud, and the cloud stood over the entrance to the tent. And the Lord said to Moses, "You are going to rest with your fathers, and these people will soon prostitute themselves to the foreign gods of the land they are entering. They will forsake me and break the covenant I made with them. On that day I will become angry with them and forsake them. I will hide my face from them, and they will be destroyed. Many disasters and difficulties will come upon them, and on that day they will ask, 'Have not these disasters come upon us because our God is not with us?' And I will certainly hide my face on that day because of all their wickedness in turning to other gods." So again, right here, the Lord already knows. The Lord already knows that unfortunately man is going to not be able to live under the law, under these commitments and these commands. They're going to turn. They're going to, in fact, do all the detestable things that all the nations around them were doing. And he's telling that eventually he will become angry and he will stop blessing Israel. Now, with that, and when we continue to read and we'll see more of, he does say about the punishment. And he also always leaves a door open for hope. And we'll get to that. We'll get to that part as well. Because there's always hope. And that's another thing that we have to think about. Though we may sin, though we may do things, we have hope in the Lord. And we know that our sin has been forgiven. But we also have to say that. We want to recognize that as well. And just brings up a lot of things to my mind. Going about the day. Sometimes I even get to a point where it's hard to distinguish when you are wanting to help people, but they're not wanting to help themselves. And then also, when you do help somebody, could you have helped that other person that didn't want to help themselves as well? And so a lot of that's hard to take in and hard to think about and hard to consider. And so those answers lie right here in this text in the Bible. And so we continue to read, we continue to try to understand where those thoughts, feelings, where those situations come in and come from. And there's examples throughout the Bible of different things that happen in our lives. Nothing's new under the sun, when it comes to the Bible. And people think that sometimes people think that the text is so holy that it doesn't describe all the sins of the world. And I'm like, I'm one of those like, but have you read it? You know, and if you have read it, have you asked for guidance and wisdom? Because you do understand that throughout the Bible, it describes pretty every sin. It describes it all. And so, but with that, because we know that sin equals death, we know that, or we're learning it, or we will learn it. But with that, we also know that there's hope, because God sent his son and he already won the battle for us. Remember, the Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He's already done his portion. He's already done it. Victory's already it's already done. It's already done. The battles are over. So think about that. You know, think about it in our lives. How does it make you feel? And what does it make you think?